Hey guys, Leanne here on Grady's Mom. I am going to be doing a sit-down video today, and I have not done one of these in forever. I used to do them a lot more, and maybe I'll get back into it, doing them more often. But this one I wanted to kind of do like a life update, as well as answer some frequently asked questions that I get a lot. So it's not really going to be a Q&A. It's kind of just going to be a like let's chat life update and answering a few key kind of questions that I get a lot, both in the comments or social media or emails or messages, that kind of thing. I actually wrote kind of some bullet points down so I can remember to address all of the things that I want to talk about in this video. So first off, welcome. Thank you for watching. As far as, I think I'm going to start with a life update because the past couple months have just been a whirlwind, as you know. I know there are people here who have been with me for a long time or from the beginning, like 5 years ago. And then there's obviously new people that, you know, jump on the train and, you know, discover new channels and stuff on YouTube all the time. So whether you are an OG who has been here for 5 years with me or somebody brand new, welcome. Pretty much in a nutshell, life has been crazy. In the past couple months, we have sold one home in South Carolina, moved everything here. We've been situated in this house for about 7 weeks now. I think probably 8 weeks, about 2 months by the time you guys see this video. And it has the whole process and everything and relocating and moving back here. We are originally from upstate New York. It couldn't have gone better. It just, as stressful as moving is and relocating is, I'm very thankful that we really, knock on wood, we just didn't really hit any roadblocks. We sold our South Carolina home quickly in about 3 weeks. We found this house here that we live in now online, and you know, because we're from here, I was able to have my dad come and take a look at it for me. So it just all worked out, selling the house there and getting the house here. We do plan as of now to be in this house for a long time, at least 10 years, maybe longer. I always say you never know where life is going to take you, so you never know, but that is the game plan right now, to be in this house, you know, for a good amount of time. I think I'm kind of going to answer frequently asked questions inserted into the life update, because some of the questions that I get repeatedly involve part of the update. So a question I get a lot is, do we rent this house or do we buy it? We own this home. This is our third home that we've bought. I love it. It's smaller than my last house. It's an old home. This house was built in the 50s. It was fully remodeled and then put on the market. It was bought pretty much by a guy who flips houses. We actually know him now. So he purchased this house very cheaply and renovated the whole thing inside and out, top to bottom. So pretty much, although the house itself is old, it's built in the 50s, he literally remodeled everything in the entire house, guys. Inside, outside, all the windows, the walls, the ceilings, the kitchen, the floors. I mean, you name it, it was redone. So one of the things that I was a little concerned and worried about is going from a bigger house to a smaller house. However, we have found there are many ways to alleviate that issue, if you want to even call it that. The first thing is we have a full, large basement in this home. It is unfinished, but currently as we speak, my husband is working to finish the basement. Once the basement is finished, this home will be bigger than my previous home. So the issue, again, if you want to call it that, of going from a bigger house to a smaller house is no longer an issue, because of the fact that my husband's going to finish the basement. He's going to put a playroom down there, a living, like, family room down there. There's going to be like a pantry area for me. There's going to be a workshop for him. There's going to be a big storage area. He's going to make it into different sections. And we plan to fully finish it, meaning paint it, carpet, you know, look fully functional. It's not going to look like a basement when it's done, if that makes sense. So once that project is done, again, we will have more space in this house than our previous home. So that issue kind of worked itself out. We also have a big property here, a big yard, a big driveway, a big front yard, a big side yard, a big backyard. We never had that at our previous home in South Carolina. Our previous home was in a new construction neighborhood, so it was very sort of cookie cutter, where all the homes were new, they were very close together, you got a very small yard, and I really didn't like that because I actually grew up in a log cabin in the mountains in the middle of nowhere on like 10 acres of land. So going from that as a child, as an adult transitioning into living in homes with a little yard or a smaller property, that kind of thing, I really feel that we found the happy medium with this home. So overall, house-wise, we're very happy with the home. We have a lot of work to do. We're actually after the basement, which is going to take a while, probably a couple years down the road, we are going to remodel our entire upstairs level, the second floor. It's a very odd layout. This is a Cape Cod style home that has been, again, fully remodeled. There's also been a couple different additions that were put on from the time it was built in the 50s to now. So we want to reconfigure the whole upstairs down the road, probably 2-3 years down the road. And I'll get into that more, obviously, in the future. So as far as why we moved here, I've got a lot of questions on videos back when we were in the process of moving and getting ready to sell our house there and that kind of thing. I actually got a few comments of people who didn't know our backstory that said things or emailed me, whatever the case is, said to me, why would you move out of South Carolina? It's so cheap to live there, and move back to somewhere so expensive in New York. So again, these are people that don't know our backstory, so I'm going to kind of sum it up quickly for those who are new and maybe refresh some of you who have been here for a while. But we have a child who is a special needs child. He is autistic, and my child always comes first to me no matter what. He is my #1 priority, and I feel that he could get a better education here in New York. And the main reason is my husband's family and my whole family, my parents, my sister, my brother, my husband's parents, they all live here. And our parents are both, at retirement. Both of our sets of parents are both retirement age. They're getting older just like any of the rest of us, and it's harder and harder for them to come down to visit. So pretty much in a nutshell, we moved here for an array of reasons, but the main one being we really needed family support. Having an autistic child is not easy, let alone having a child who is a typical developing child is not easy. And I have always been just a very family-oriented person, so I really needed my family, my sister, my brother, my husband's family, not only for support and for help, but just to be able to do things together. Now that they're all getting older, as we all are, I just wanted to be able to see my mom, see my dad, be around, have the option to be around each other for holidays, for just getting together to do things. And the past couple of months has been such an eye-opener because I've literally been able to see my parents every week, sometimes more than once a week, because we live halfway between my parents and my husband's parents. So literally our house is here, my parents are 15 minutes north, and my husband's parents are 15 minutes south. So it's perfect. Actually, this weekend, my husband and I are dropping Grady off at my husband's parents' house, so we can go out and have a fun, like a day date with another couple. So just things like that. We never had that option when we lived in South Carolina because we didn't have any family there. So as far as another question that I get a lot is, why don't you film Grady or your family? I get a lot of questions or comments of people saying, I wish you would show your family, I wish you would show more of Grady, that kind of thing. So as far as Grady goes, again, my son's autistic, and if you may, I don't know, everybody knows a little bit or a lot, everybody's level of what they know about autism is different. I've met people that know absolutely nothing about autism, they don't even know what it means. And then I've also met people who are very educated about it. I would urge you, if you're somebody who doesn't know anything about it, even though maybe you feel that it doesn't affect you because your kids are not autistic, I would just encourage anybody, just if nothing else, just to learn something new, to maybe read up on it a little bit. I'm not saying you have to go read a whole book on it, but maybe even just Google it and see if, you can learn a little bit about it, because autism is extremely common now. Every year I read the statistics go up and up. I think it's like 1 out of 68 children born in the US are autistic. It's becoming extremely common. I never really knew much about it. I knew what it was, but I never really knew much about it because, you know, it never affected me until I found out that my son was autistic. And then that's when I just got a wealth of knowledge by reading books and looking up things online and watching different videos and talking to different people. And it's actually, I feel very good that I'm educated about it, not only because I'm a mother of an autistic child, but I can help educate and raise awareness to other people who don't know anything about it. Because, you know, even again, if you're not a parent of an autistic child, it might be good for you to know, because chances are one day your kids might be in school with an autistic child, or maybe be friends with an autistic child, or whatever the case may be. I don't know, guys. I'm just the kind of person where I've always felt like knowledge is power. I'm always wanting to learn new things, even if they're things that maybe I don't feel directly pertain to me. I still am always thirsty to learn different knowledge and different things about anything I possibly can. So back to why I don't film Grady very much. There are a few reasons. The main one being he is very camera shy. He is very cameras and being filmed gives him a little bit of nervousness and anxiety, and I just don't feel comfortable filming somebody, whether it's my son or anybody else, if they're nervous or they feel anxiety about it. As far as my family goes, my parents are just very, I guess the best way to describe it is camera shy. I really don't think they understand the magnitude of YouTube, and I just don't think they're overall really comfortable with being filmed. Maybe that'll change one day. I do share clips of Grady on my Insta stories a lot on Instagram, and he always wants to see my phone and see what I filmed, and then I kind of feel him out to see if he feels comfortable with it. You know, I really just let him lead, and if I know that he's not comfortable, there are many times I have filmed extensive clips or longer clips of him, and they just never made it to YouTube because I could tell when I was editing that he was uncomfortable, that he felt, he just wasn't comfortable. And, you know, I don't know about you guys, but if somebody was filming you and you didn't feel comfortable, I don't think you'd be too happy of them putting it on YouTube. I hope that makes sense. You know, again, maybe things will change in the future. Maybe I will show more of him. Maybe he'll get more comfortable himself. Maybe my family will get more comfortable. But for right now, I am pretty picky about what I, you know, will actually put on YouTube, because I don't want to put a bunch of clips of somebody, whether it's Grady or my family or my sister or my brother, who's clearly uncomfortable and not wanting to be filmed. So I hope that answers that a little bit. Sorry, I'm just looking at this paper to make sure I'm covering as much as I possibly can. Okay, so I think I updated you guys and said we're very happy to be here. We have a lot of work ahead of us, that kind of thing. Matt actually had a job lined up, my husband Matt, before we even moved here. Again, guys, we're from here, so we have a lot of connections here, whether it be jobs or friends or that kind of thing. So my husband Matt already had a job lined up and waiting for him when we were still living in South Carolina. And thankfully the job he got is not only with a wonderful company, it's the exact work he wanted to be doing, which is project management, foreman type of work for a construction company. This is a high-end construction company that does a lot of high-end remodels. He loves it. It's the line of work he has been in for 12 years, I believe. Before construction, him and I actually both worked in the mortgage industry, which is where we met at a former job about 15 years ago. But anyways, he is doing the same work, the same type of work he was doing in Charlotte when we lived in the South. And it's just great because his commute is much shorter. He doesn't have to leave as early. He gets home earlier, which is more time to be with his family. And overall, those things all equate to him just being a happier person. So I'm extremely happy that he's happy. And it's great that he was able to secure and get a job before we even moved here. So that is the deal with Matt. He's very happy at his new job. I get a lot of questions sometimes from people, mainly people who don't know, again, our backstory, when I'm going to go back to work. So meaning work outside the home. So I have been a stay-at-home mom now for about 7 years. Grady is 6.5, and I stopped working outside the home when I was about 6 months pregnant. So pretty much 7 years I've been a stay-at-home mom. For the past 3 years, I started YouTube 5 years ago as a hobby. For the past 3 years, I have been able to make money on YouTube through my views, or through different partnerships or sponsorships with different companies or brands, some of which have never been on YouTube. I've maybe partnered or collaborated or been sponsored by a company that has nothing to do with YouTube that maybe you guys never even knew about. I am extremely picky about who I'm going to partner with and do an actual video on YouTube. I turn things down a lot because I'm genuinely not interested in them, and I don't want to come on YouTube and make a video and act like I'm extremely interested in this product when really I'm not. I just feel it's misleading. Yes, that would be more money in my pocket, but I just feel like that's not really who I am. I do videos on what I want to do them on. Nobody's forcing me. I have a right to say no, I don't want to do that, or no, I'm just not comfortable with that. I'm really selective about sponsorships and all that. I don't judge anybody who does sponsored videos. I see a lot of YouTubers now doing collaborations with Grove Collaborative where they'll do like a cleaning video or an organizing video, and they'll show their different products like from Grove, and they'll say, you know, this is my promo code. I have no issue with any of that. Honestly, guys, this is how I am. Whether it's a YouTuber or not, you just do you. If it doesn't affect me, I don't care. I'm not going to sit here and tear somebody down for what they choose to do on their channel. There are a lot of YouTubers now that do videos that most of them I find are sponsored. And I still don't judge them because I don't care. It doesn't affect me. If that's what they want to do you. I'm going to do me, you do you. So that's pretty much that. As far as me working outside the home, if YouTube never existed, I probably would be looking into that right now. Unfortunately, I have a bit of a unique situation because of my son's autism. Autism comes hand in hand with a lot of, most of the time, some different health problems or health challenges. Maybe I'll talk about that in a future video, but I will say my son has some digestive and gastrointestinal issues, which a lot of times comes hand in hand with autism. They don't even really know why they're linked, the two things, but they are. So unfortunately, if I were to get a job, let's say like a 9-to-5 office job, just for an example, chances are the job probably wouldn't work out because, for one, my son, you know, is home from school, you know, earlier than 5. My parents still work full time. So it will be tricky getting someone to watch him, but mostly because, guys, because of his health issues that he has sometimes, the school will call me and say, you need to come get him. And obviously I can't be having a job where I need to say, oh, by the way, I need to leave just abruptly because of my son. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's just not the right fit for me right now to work outside of the home. Maybe when my son is older, he's still just in kindergarten. He's 6 years old right now. Maybe. But right now, to be honest, I spend enough time on my YouTube related things every week that it really does feel like a job to me. From every aspect of the actual filming or the editing and replying to comments and, you know, getting everything uploaded and scheduling videos and planning out videos. It really is time consuming for me, but it's also something that I genuinely do enjoy. If you are thinking about starting a YouTube channel, I tell everybody, why not? You have nothing to lose, but just go into it knowing that you have to have a thick skin because not everybody is going to like you. People will say rude things to you. You are not going to make money right away. They just changed the guidelines on YouTube to make it harder. I believe it has to be, you have to have like a certain amount of subscribers and a certain amount of hours watched. So you're not just gonna jump right in and start YouTube and make a bunch of money. It takes a while. It takes consistency. It takes being true to yourself. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but I definitely don't ever discourage anybody from trying if you think maybe it's something that you would really enjoy. I started 5 years ago just as a hobby. Back then, I didn't even know you could even make money off of it. So now I'm able to make my own schedule, work from home, make some money. I mean, I'm not making a ton of money. I'm not making a full-time income, but I'm making enough money to where I can help my family in whatever way that may be. That may be, maybe I save up for something that we can all do as a family. Maybe I am using my check and I am saving for something just for me. Maybe I'm saving something saving money just for my son. It could be anything. Every month is different, so when I get my check once a month, I do something different with it every single month. Right now, I'm actually going to start saving for our summer vacation, so I can hopefully save up enough to pay for most of our vacation, which will probably be in July. And again, you know, sometimes it's Grady that I'm saving for, or sometimes, you know, maybe if it's August and I get a YouTube check and I buy him some school clothes. It could be anything, but regardless, the money is helping my family, whether that is paying for something that my husband doesn't have to pay for, or saving for something for the future for all of us. And the best part is I get to be my own boss. I get to control what I want to put on YouTube, and if I want to do sponsored videos or not, and that kind of thing. So it's really, really been good for me as far as just getting to know people, getting to network with different people, getting to learn a lot about myself. And it's really, I can't say enough how much YouTube really has changed my life in many different ways. So anyways, guys, I hope that this sort of updated you and answered some of your questions. I do plan to do a Q&A probably this summer. So if you have any questions, you can either leave them below, or you can also email me. I always have in the description box. I always have my email, my contact information, my social media information, any like discount links or anything like that. They're in the bottom, the down bar of every single video. I know a lot of people like to email me in private, whether it's to just email me in general in chat or ask questions, and it's always, again, down below. It's just GradysMomOfficial@gmail.com. So again, I hope this updated you a little bit on what's been going on, and answered some questions for those who didn't know. I hope you guys all have a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.